Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a really fascinating corner of the job market.
Yeah, uncovering this single skill that's apparently so in demand.
So in demand that, according to Derek David's article on Medium back in June 2025, CEOs are, and this is a quote, literally begging to hire anyone who has it.
Literally begging. It sounds intense.
It really does. So our mission today is to unpack, what is this mystery skill? Why is it suddenly the, quote, hottest job in tech?
Right.
And maybe most importantly, what could it mean for your career or just for understanding how the job market's shifting?
Definitely. And the way this all kicked off is, well, it's quite the story.
It is pretty wild, yeah. It started with a viral tweet, apparently, then shockwaves.
And led to some really, really bold public statements from major CEOs.
So let's start there. The spark, June 22nd, right?
Yeah. Ryan Carson, he's a founder and entrepreneur.
And he drops this bombshell tweet on X, just names the hottest job in tech.
And it took off, like nearly 500,000 views pretty quickly.
And people said it just hit different. It sort of articulated this feeling.
That maybe folks in tech were sensing but couldn't quite pin down.
Exactly, that feeling.
And the reaction from CEOs was almost immediate. Wade Foster at Zapier.
Oh, yeah, the co-founder and CEO. What did he do?
He saw Carson's tweet, went straight to LinkedIn, and posted something kind of stunning.
Which was?
We'll hire you into any role at Zapier. Seriously, any role. 100% of our open jobs are up for grabs.
Wow. Any role. That's a statement.
Huge statement. But he explained it wasn't just, grabbing headlines.
Right.
He said it reflected this trend he was seeing across Zapier's own customers.
It was.
Companies embedding these professionals into basically every function.
Everywhere, not just IT.
Everywhere. He described them as part strategist, part builder, fully fluent in automation.
Part strategist, part builder, fluent in automation. That's a really evocative phrase.
It is, isn't it? It's just more than just technical skill.
Yeah, like understanding the bigger picture, the business side too.
Absolutely. And that connects to what Marcos Aguayo said. He's a developer, engineer, and also a farmer, interestingly.
A farmer.
Okay.
What was his take?
He basically said, this is the next big thing. He genuinely believes every company needs people focused on optimizing and automating.
Every company. So not just tech giants?
Nope. Cross-industry, software, agriculture, you name it. It's about efficiency wherever you are.
Right, right. And the momentum didn't stop there. Adam D'Angelo at Quora.
The co-founder and CEO there, he didn't just talk, he acted.
Yeah, he announced a whole new role, didn't he?
Exactly. A single engineer specifically tasked with using AI to automate manual work across Quora.
To boost productivity. And D'Angelo himself was going to work closely with this person.
That's what he said. Direct involvement from the top. That's serious commitment.
It really is. And then the investors chimed in too.
Taneja Puria, a venture capitalist.
What did he add?
He basically said he expects many more companies to start hiring for this role.
So the VCs are seeing signals across their portfolio companies.
Yep. It wasn't just a couple of CEOs reacting. It was looking like a broader shift, a real trend taking hold.
Okay, so with all this buildup, all this buzz, what is this role? Let's nail it down. What do they actually do?
Right. The role is the AI automation engineer.
AI automation engineer. Okay.
And their core job is really about automating workflows, making processes smoother, and deploying these things called AI agents.
AI agents. What are those exactly?
Think of them as intelligent software programs that can handle tasks on their own, scheduling, data analysis, that kind of thing, to scale up intelligent decision-making.
Got it. So they're like the bridge.
Exactly. The bridge between the really advanced AI models coming out and how businesses can actually use them day to day.
So they make the potential practical.
Precisely. They turn the theory into something functional, something useful.
So it's not necessarily about like inventing brand new AI algorithms from scratch.
Not always, no. It's often more about knowing what tools are out there, understanding the business problem, and then connecting those dots, making the existing AI actually work for a specific challenge.
That makes sense. It's a blend then. Tech skills and business smarts.
Exactly. They need the technical expertise, sure, but they also need a deep understanding of the business itself.
To see where the opportunities are.
Right. Their key task is to analyze how a company works, spot those routine, repetitive tasks.
The stuff that bogs people down.
Yeah, exactly. And then figure out how AI tools can take those over.
Which frees up the human workers for.
For the more critical stuff, the higher value activities, the things that need human judgment or creativity, it's about optimizing the human contribution, really.
Okay, the CEO reactions, the new roles, that's significant. But why the urgency? Why did this explode in 2025? What's behind this, like, unprecedented demand now?
Well, the numbers, the data, they really paint a picture here, and it points straight to the value these engineers bring.
Okay, hit me with the stats.
Average salaries for AI engineers, they've soared to around $206,000.
206K. Wow. How does that compare?
That's a jump of about $50,000 from the year before, a really significant increase.
50 grand jump in a year. Okay. What else?
Well, look at the broader category computer and information research scientists, which includes these AI roles.
Oh,
Projected growth is 23% between 2023 and 2033.
23%? That sounds high.
It's much faster than the average for all jobs. Much faster.
Okay. And are companies actually posting jobs for this?
They are. The percentage of all U.S. job postings that mention needing AI skills rose to 1.8%. Now, that might sound small, but it was up from 1.4% the year before, so it's climbing.
And adoption of AI tools.
Forecasts suggest that by 2025, about 65% of businesses are expected to be using cloud-based AI tools.
65%. That's a lot of companies needing help implementing them.
Precisely. And you add that to the general growth in engineering jobs, they expect to add about 195,000 engineering roles each year over the next decade.
Okay.
But the combo of traditional automation know-how and these new AI capabilities, that specific mix is making demand for this role even more intense.
That salary jump, the gross. It's not just a new job title popping up, is it? It feels like a shift in what technical even means in this AI age.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's becoming less about just building the core AI tech.
And more about the integration, the
Oh,
application.
exactly. How do you weave this powerful AI into the messy reality of existing human workflows and business processes? That seems to be the bottleneck.
And where the bottleneck is, that's where the value is.
Right. And that leads to the underlying driver, this huge skills gap.
The skills gap. We hear that a lot.
We do, but here it's really acute. You have companies from tiny startups to massive enterprises all wanting to leverage AI.
But they don't know how. Or they don't have the people who know how.
Exactly. They lack the internal expertise to implement these systems effectively.
Hmm.
It's one thing to buy a tool. It's another to make it actually improve things.
So these AI automation engineers, they fill that void.
They do. They're the ones who translate the concepts, the AI strategies into actual measurable business improvements, productivity gains.
They're the ones who, as the article put it, actually make things happen.
That's the phrase, moving beyond endless strategy meetings.
Oh, those meetings. Yeah, if you've ever sat through meeting after meeting about AI strategy, that just seems to go nowhere.
You get the frustration.
Totally. This role sounds like it's about getting tangible results, making AI work.
Exactly.
But I wonder, you see all these no-code and low-code AI platforms emerging now? Couldn't companies just train their existing staff on those tools?
Right.
Why the need for a dedicated engineer?
That's a really good question. And those tools are lowering the barrier to entry for sure.
Right.
But a dedicated AI automation engineer brings something more. It's a deeper, more systematic approach.
How so?
They're not just users of the tools. They're more like architects of the process.
Yeah.
They can analyze the whole workflow, identify the truly optimal places for automation.
Ah, okay. Not just automating random bits.
Right. They understand the data flows underneath, how to integrate different systems, maybe some legacy systems with new AI tools.
It can get tricky.
Very tricky. And crucially, they have the problem-solving skills for when things inevitably don't work perfectly right away, which they often don't.
Yeah, troubleshooting is key. So it's strategic implementation, not just playing with a new tool.
Exactly. Strategic, systematic.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So thinking about you, the listener, maybe you're looking at tech careers, seeing this demand. What does it take? Does this mean you need like a PhD in computer science or 10 years coding hardcore algorithms?
And that's a really key point. The answer, maybe surprisingly, is no, not necessarily.
Really?
Yeah. Entry into this field doesn't always require those super advanced academic credentials or decades of pure software engineering.
So where do people come from?
A lot of successful people in this space actually come from quite diverse backgrounds.
Interesting, like what?
Business analysts, process improvement specialists, project managers, even people from specific industry roles who understand the workflows deeply. They bring different perspectives.
So it's more about a specific skill set and maybe a mindset.
Exactly. It's less about the degree and more about what you can do.
Okay, so what are those essential skills then?
You need practical technical skills, definitely. You need to be comfortable with tech.
Sure.
You absolutely need strong problem-solving abilities. That's huge.
Okay.
A good sense, a real knack for understanding where automation actually creates business value, not just automating for automation's sake.
Right, the strategic part again.
Yeah, knowledge of the AI tools and platforms that are out there, what they do, their strengths, weaknesses.
Keeping up with that must be a job in itself.
It is. And finally, some experience with process optimization, understanding how workflows, well, flow.
Okay, practical tech skills, problem solving, business value sense, knowing the tools, process optimization.
That's a pretty good summary, and the opportunity here is, well, AI tech is becoming available everywhere. It's getting ubiquitous.
But the expertise to actually implement it.
That's still scarce. So professionals who can step in and deliver working AI solutions, they've become absolutely essential.
So if you're looking for a high-demand tech career path in 2025.
This is genuinely one of the most promising avenues out there right now.
Okay, so let's recap what we've unpacked in this deep dive. The AI automation engineer, it's clearly more than just a coder.
Much more.
It's a strategic role, really. Bridging that gap between what AI could do
And what businesses actually need it to do, practically speaking.
and the outcome is freeing up us humans for the more meaningful, maybe more creative, more impactful work. It really is a role focused on transformation.
It is,
Yeah.
but that transformation, it isn't just about plugging in the tech, is it?
No, seems like there's more to it.
Which brings up a really important point from the source material from Sarah Pekowski.
What does she say?
She pointed out that often the hardest part is not the AI.
What is it then?
It's the people, the teams. She said teams don't change what they're doing unless it's their own idea or the motivation to change is coming from their direct leadership chain.
That rings true. Organizational inertia, resistance to change.
Exactly, the human element, the organizational culture.
So, okay, here's a final thought for you to chew on that.
Yeah.
If the biggest barrier to getting value from AI isn't actually the technology, but it's our human willingness, our organizational ability to adapt and change,
Yeah.
what does that suggest about the next wave of crucial skills? Maybe even beyond the AI automation engineer role itself. What about leadership, change management, communication?
The skills needed to actually get people and organizations to embrace the change the AI enables.
Precisely. What skills will be vital for those professionals? It's definitely something worth thinking about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the really fascinating rise of the AI automation engineer.